Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about the preparation strategy, the do's and don'ts, and some tips and tricks for the UPSC Engineering Service Mains Exam preparation. As we all know that the mains exam is the most important part of the UPSC Engineering Service examination, hence it needs to be dealt with more efforts on the part of the aspirants. And we all know it carries 600 marks, which is a significant part of the overall weightage of the exam. Hence, a step-by-step approach is required for the preparation of the same. And in this video, I'm trying to cover what all things that I did to obtain good marks in the mains exam and clear the mains exam, and ultimately I was able to get a seat in the final result. So let's get started. So as the title of this slide, you can see that prelims done and dusted, time for real test. We all know that the prelims exam is done. We all have calculated the marks, trying to know if we are making through or not. Some will be on the boundary thinking what to do to start with the preparation or not. So instead of thinking much about that, I would suggest just start the preparation, because you never know. UPSC, the question is very unpredictable, and because of that the cutoff varies. So if you are even a bit above the cutoff, I would suggest you start preparing seriously for mains, because mains has a great weightage. So your selection depends on the mains exam. Now here are some of the features that I think most of you will be knowing about. That the mains exam is of 600 marks, 300 plus 300, two papers, completely technical, no non-tech part is there, and it's a 3 hours paper per paper, as you can see. And I have written only here, as you can see. The reason being very obvious, that it's only 3 hours, because it will look like you've got 3 hours per paper, but that 3 hours is something that it will go on so quickly that you will not realize. So proper practice is very much needed when you start preparing. So this is something you should keep in mind. And regarding the theory, concepts and derivations, in the prelims preparation, we usually not give much focus to theory concepts. We rather prepare more of one-line answers or some known facts, or maybe some repeated questions that they come, and some numericals. But here derivations are also very important. The reason being, they always test your knowledge based on how much you have read. It's an exam, the test of memory. See the next point, test of memory. It means it focuses on horizontal approach of preparation rather than vertical approach. Now, what is horizontal and what is vertical? The horizontal approach being you have to read more and more topics needs to be covered, rather than few topics and in-depth knowledge of the topic. So instead of in-depth knowledge, you are required to know multiple topics across different chapters and different subjects, whatever you prepare for it. So here derivation becomes very important, because we have seen in the past also many questions are there directly from like how to derive something, find the result, prove something related to like this. Okay. And for the past few years, we have seen that the questions that are coming in the UPSC mains exam especially are very unexpected. The reason being, they are asking new topics every year, which are generally not taught in any coaching institute, and student also don't go through it or pay much heed to it. So for that reason, this has become a bit unexpected, and the cutoff and the marks that people are getting are reduced drastically in the past few years, if you'll see. And this is the current trend, so one should keep this in mind. And the last but not the least, the QCAB. What is QCAB? QCAB is question come answer booklet. So for people who have never written mains, this is something that you should be knowing, because it is a question paper with space provided for writing the answer. So it stands for question come answer booklet. So here fixed space, limited space is provided for each question based on the weightage. So the weightage, say it's a 5 mark question, 10 mark, 15 or 20, and accordingly 1, 2 or 3 pages will be allotted to it. So the reason this becomes important is very simple, that you are giving a limited space and you have to write all the points that you want to write, and it should be clear and crisp and to the point, so that you are able to convey what you want to convey in the way you desire. So this becomes very important. Now if we move, so things that I did to clear the mains, which helped me see my name in the final list. So these are the things that I did that personally helped me a lot in my preparation, and which helped me see through the final merit list. I was able to see my name. So as you can see things here, the PYQ. What is PYQ? PY stands for previous year questions. Now this, you can say, it is the step 1 for your preparation. You have to go through the previous year papers to get an idea of the type of questions that are being asked, the topics that are being covered, and the level of difficulty of the questions. Now I would say it will be an understatement if I call it a holy book for the aspirants, because this is the most important thing. It is your reference. Without this, you are like without light in a tunnel, dark tunnel. So this gives you light. It will help you how to start your preparation. So first thing first you should do is you should go through the previous year papers, and since this is a subjective paper, the answer should be well written and should be self-explanatory and to the point. So if you have a previous year solved paper, you will be able to see how the questions are being written, how the answers are being written, so you will see how to approach any question. So this will give you a slight idea of how questions are asked, what type of questions are asked, and how you should approach it. So this becomes very important. So this is the first step, and having a look at the previous papers, I think, will be your guiding light into the dark tunnel I was talking about, right? Yeah. The next one being the test series. Now everyone knows what test series is. Everyone once in his or her life must have appeared in test series. Now what is the importance of test series here? Test series is important in a way because it gives you an idea, a reflection of your preparation. It's not about how many marks you get, what ranks you score. It's about self-improvement. The purpose of test series is self-improvement, that the error that you made in the first test should not happen in the second test. That is the motive of the test series. So I would suggest join any reputed test series of any coaching institute and write it in a similar environment to get the feel of the exam. Similar environment means write in the QCAB format. These days coaching institutes, different institutes are providing questions along with that QCAB format answer booklet, so that if you have a printout of that, because of the COVID situation, I'm sure most of the test series will be online only. So in that case, just get it printed and try to solve in the 3 hours allotted. Put a timer, put every distractions away, and try to write the exam, the test, in a proper way, like you'll write the final mains exam. Now this will test your time management skills, the questions that you approach, how would you approach, and what you approach, because here it's about elimination. What questions you have to eliminate. We know that 8 questions are there and we have to attempt only 5 questions in the mains exam, out of which question number 1 and 5 are compulsory, rest are optional. Those optionals have to be selected. Those selection is very important. So that selection, the idea that you get of what to select and how to select, comes from this writing test series only. So I would suggest you should do this. This is what helped me a lot. And I think it's a very vast topic, test series, because there is a different way to write it and different approaches to it. So I think I'll make a separate video for how to write test series and what is the way you should, how should you learn from test series, how it should be written, what should be the takeaway from the test series. So I think I'll make a separate video, so stay tuned for that and subscribe. And the third topic being topic identification. Now what is topic identification? So now that you've seen the pattern of the questions being asked from the previous year questions, you have gotten the idea what are asked. Now what you have to do is try to identify the topics which were not covered by you in the prelims phase, because in the prelims phase the syllabus is limited, but in mains you'll see, once you go through the previous paper, you'll see various new topic question has been asked over the previous years also and recently also, and those topics usually students ignore while preparing for prelims. So I would suggest you identify those topics from previous year questions, and then you should read those topics. Try to make notes of it, try to understand, try to see the trend, what they're asking and what type of questions they're asking. Right? So it's a subjective paper, we know, and in-depth knowledge of the domain is mandatory. So referring to a standard textbook here also would be very important. Reason being, not everything will be given in your notes. Some questions, some topics will be such that it will be given in standard books, reference books. Just go through it Try to identify those topics and prepare well, make notes for it. And especially it will be helpful for those new subjects that has been introduced from 2017, and their previous year questions are very meager, and we cannot judge what type of questions will be asked because we only have 3-4 years of data, and every year different questions are being asked. So it will be very difficult to predict. But once you go through the standard textbook of these subjects, you will have an idea what type of questions are being given, solved examples, and what topics are usually covered. So it will give you a rough idea of how to prepare. So topic identification becomes very important also. Now the fourth point that helped me was writing skill and QCAB. Now mains exam tests your writing skills, and what could be a better way to prepare than writing? You have to write the test. This is the most important part of this, as it would help maintain speed of the exam. Your speed, how quickly or how efficiently you write the paper. This will make you skilled enough. I would say skilled, because with practice you will gain that skill to write that exam in the allotted time. Also, few people have bad handwriting, and they usually ask what to do. And in that case, again, writing will be very helpful because it will give you a chance to improve. The more you write, the more you try to practice. This will help you generate proper content. You write proper content, as well as your speed will be maintained. So you'll try to improve, try to get a balance between your handwriting and what you're trying to convey, writing it quickly. So this will be very helpful to try doing this. And again, the QCAB mentioned here is very obvious, that you should writing skills. Your writing skills depends on how you write the paper. And if you write in the QCAB, you'll be having that same feel what you will get in the exam, the same blank space. You will understand how much you should write, how much is sufficient for the marks allotted to the question. So this will be very much important, and again, test series will help a lot. Keep that in mind. Now this is the fifth thing, new concepts. Now what is this new concepts? Now this is a very dangerous game, I would say. Only I would suggest to few people to do this, not all. People who have written mains multiple times and they're already thorough with the preparation, all they have to do is revise. So what I would suggest is go through the past 3-4 years paper. When the syllabus has changed, you will see that some questions that are being asked you have never heard of. You will read it and it will sound like it is out of syllabus. So what you have to do is you have to go through such topics in standard textbooks. Those topics are usually not very important. You will find it they're asked once or twice in out of 30 years, say. But recently, if you see the trend of UPSC, every year few subjects they're asking new questions. Those new questions have never been asked. Usually this was not the trend for UPSC. They used to ask similar and repeated questions of same concepts. But now they're asking some questions that are new topics, new subjects, new part of the subject that has never been explored before. They are deep diving into that. So what I would suggest is refer the standard textbook, see the questions that are being asked in the past 3-4 years. Identify those topics and try to read topics related to that topic, because the probability of the topics that are related to the topics that are being asked becomes greater. In my personal experience, I tried to do this and it helped me a lot in the 2020 exam, as some questions were directly taken from what I read, thinking of this is an important topic because similar to that topic a question was asked in the previous paper. Ideally, what I would have done was to leave it, because it's once in a while. They might ask once in a blue moon some random questions and it will be difficult for everyone, every aspirant. But the point is, if you want to get an edge, if you really want to succeed and you really want to get an edge, so this is something that you can do. But again, it's a very risky business. If you go into it, you should be well aware of the consequences also, as it may backfire, it may waste your time. So first of all, I would suggest to complete all the important parts of your syllabus that are being asked consistently, and then if you get time, if you are well versed with the mains preparation, you're writing the mains for the multiple, say second or third time, then I would suggest you can do this. So it will be a great value addition for you and it will give you an edge over the other candidates. Now, what are these 5 gears? These 5 gears represent the different methods that I approached And what it did, it didn't guarantee me anything, being very honest. All it did was give me confidence. This confidence made me think, yes, I can do this. Now, this is what is important. You have to get that confidence. Writing tests, reading new concepts, reading old concepts, reading theory, derivation, previous year questions, solving again and again, practice again and again. This will give you confidence, and this confidence is the key to success. This confidence is must for every aspirant who is writing mains, because it is something that aspirants are not usually acquainted to. They are usually in the preparation phase where they prepare only for objective exams. So when it comes to subjective, having that confidence of writing answer in a proper way is very much important. So this is what I did. Now, apart from that, there are some tips that I would like to give to all the aspirants out there that will help them in proper way to prepare for the mains exam. Now, as you can see, prepare a cheat book. Now, what is cheat book? Cheat book is nothing but a notebook in which all the concepts, formulas, definitions are mentioned which you encounter in the test series. So if you're say going through the test series, you will find numerous questions that you are unable to solve in the first attempt. You leave it, and when you just go through the question paper again, you find that these concepts or topics have been never read before by you. You have no idea what those are, and yet these questions are being consistently asked in the test series. You will see and you will feel like these are not important, but trust me, these are the most important things. What you have to do is to create a notebook, write all those questions, not questions, concepts. Say some random question has been asked in one of the test series, identify the concept, go through the reference book, standard book, find it, write the important points related to it in one page or half page. Write the formulas, write the concepts and derivations if any. So what this will do is it will give you a broad perspective of what could be asked prospective questions in the exam. Because recent trend, if you see, UPSC, as I already told, is asking new questions. So these new questions you have to be prepared, else your mains may be affected in a bad way. I have personal experience that if you usually leave this topic, it will cost you some marks in mains, because UPSC is consistently asking such questions. So whatever questions new you encountered in the test series, try to write it in this book. This has helped me a lot, trust me. It is something very important. People usually don't do it. Every new concept must be written somewhere so that it helps you in the final phase of the revision. Because at the end of the day, when exam will be near, say 2-3 days are there, you have to revise. You won't be revising again and again from the prelims notes and mains notes. Instead, you should write all the important concepts, the questions that are also old. Say those are old, but they are always being repeated in the previous years. Write those down so that when you revise, you are well versed with what is being asked and what could be probably asked. So everything is covered in your part. It will boost your confidence, trust me. And you, if you are lucky, you may see something that you read directly from this in the paper. This happened with me also. I'll have share an experience. In the 2020 paper, there was one question that was literally having the same concept that was asked in one of the test series of the coaching institutes, from the coaching institutes. What I did was, that concept was new. Nobody knew it. So what I did was, this notebook that I prepared, I wrote this concept down. And I started reading it daily, on a daily basis, so that I remember it by the time of the exam. And it was for my surprise that the same question concept appeared in the exam and I was able to solve it. Being able to solve it gave me huge confidence. Although the paper was tough, but yet, since I was able to solve that question, it gave me a huge amount of confidence, and that helped me glide through the paper easily. So this is something that you should keep in mind. The other one being, write tests with a purpose, cut off plus 50. Here, purpose. What is the purpose? Why do we write tests? The purpose should be very clear. It's not about what rank you get, what is the position, how good or bad you stand among your competition. No, it's never. Test series is never about this. Test series is about identifying your weakness. If there are 10 questions, you're able to solve 8 questions. The 2 questions that you were unable to solve should be your priority. Once the test is over and once you do, when you just check the question paper again to see what all you're able to solve and not. So 8 questions that you solved, good, you solved. But the 2 questions that you were unable to solve, focus on that. Try to read those concepts. Maybe you have read those concepts but you are unable to solve it for some reason. Maybe time issue. Maybe you were unable to comprehend what it was asking. Maybe you forgot the formulas. It could be anything. So what you have to do is the same notebook, the first, as I already told, the cheat book that you prepared, write those concepts down in it so that you will never do that mistake again. It's very simple. It's not a rocket science. It's very simple. So this should be a purpose of writing the tests. And one more thing about test series is you should have a target in mind. Say the question comes for 300 marks. Total weightage 300 marks. So your target shouldn't be that I get the first rank among the aspirants, second rank, top 10. No, that shouldn't be your target. Target should be scoring 200 marks out of 300, 150 out of 300. Whatever your target is, try to achieve it. Say you score 200 marks out of 300, your rank will automatically be among the top 10. You don't have to worry that much, because in the test series you will see people scoring 250, 260, 280 marks out of 300. It will demotivate you, it will demoralize you. But you should remember one thing: at the end of the day, when the exam comes, the level that is asked in the UPSC is such that people are unable to score that much marks. It's obvious and it is a well-known fact. So you don't have to be scared or worried if you're not able to score that high marks. What you have to do is set a target, say 200 marks, 200, 210, and try to achieve it with every test. Your aim should be to get closer to that mark with every test, with every improvement that you do. You have to reach that mark. Say you plan for 200, in the first test you got 150, then 180, then 190, and then slowly you reach 200. This is what you have to do. And the reason I'm saying 200, because if you want a really good rank, this should be your target in each paper, 400. It's a well-known fact. Just go through the mark sheet of previously recommended candidates. You will see people having very good marks, around 400 in mains, get good rank. Now what I was saying about cutoff plus 50. Let me be very clear here and to the point. Mains exam is not about only clear the mains exam. Once you clear the mains exam, say by 1 mark or 2, it will be very, very, very difficult for you to get a final rank in the merit list. Even if you get 150 marks in interview, which is a rarity. Usually people get 120 is the average marks. So getting 150 to secure a rank, it's a gamble, you should not take. So what I would suggest is your mark in mains should be 50 plus above cutoff. Reason being, if you are above cutoff, just above cutoff, the number of people that they call from mains for the interview is 2.5 times, around 2.5 times. So and seats are very less. So if you have to secure a seat, you should be above 50 marks above the cutoff. It's a well-known fact. And this is what I had in mind, that I have to score at least 50 marks above the cutoff to secure a seat. So I would suggest you to keep that in mind once you write and once you prepare for mains exam, because whatever you did in prelims is a thing of the past. Forget it. What you have to do is focus on mains, and in mains have this 50 plus concept in your mind. It will help you a lot. And once you're able to achieve it, nobody can stop you from securing a rank, because in interview everyone gets averaged out. So your advantage lies in the mains only. And hence I'm saying it is the most important aspect of the engineering service preparation. I hope whatever I tried to convey with this video of mine would be helpful to all the aspirants, because personally it helped me a lot. These things that I did for my preparation made me what I am today, and I hope it helps everyone who is watching this video. And at last I would like to say the end is just the beginning. This may be the end of the video, but I hope you like what I tried to convey here, and if you like my content, a sub to the channel would be terrific. And like it, share and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified for new videos that I upload. And I'll try to upload different videos related to the mains preparation of engineering services, and I'll try to cover some concepts, some questions that are new. Since I was from electronics background, so I'd like to take some questions that were from the electronics that were asked in the previous few years, past 2-3 years, and those were of new concepts, never been read by anyone, and how I prepared for those, I'll cover that. So yeah, that will be all for the video. Thank you all.